सतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Om. May the Divine lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace.
This song was the first song sang by Swami Vivekananda, then Noren, a very favorite song of Swami Vivekananda to Thakur. The writer is Bacharam Chattopadhyay. The gist meaning of this song is, O Lord, are my days going to be fruitless? I wait looking out with hope for you day and night. You are the Lord of the universe. I am a mere beggar, orphan. How can I ask you to come to my heart's abode? I keep the door of my heart open with hope for your kind visit and grace. जाबे की है दिनों आमार बिफले चली जाबे की है दिनों आमार बिफले चली आचिना तो दीवानिशी आचिना तो दीवानिशी आशा पथ निरोकी जाबे की বিফলে চলি যাবে কি দিন আমার তুমি ত্রিভ মনোনাথ আমি ভিখারি অনাথ তুমি ত্রিভ বননাথ আমি ভিখারি অনাথ কেমনে বলিব তোমায় কেমনে বলিব তোমায় এসো মম হৃদয়ে যাবে কি দিন আমার বিফলে চলি হৃদয় কুটির দ্বার খুলে রাখে অনিবার হৃদয় যাবে কি হে দিন আমার বিফলে চলিয়ে যাবে কি হে দিন আমার আছি নাথ দিবানিশি আছি নাথ দিবানিশি আশা পথ নিরখিয়ে যাবে কি হে দিন আমার বিফলে চলিয়ে যাবে কি হে দিন আমার।
I am reading from the book The Monk Without Frontier, Reminiscences of Swami Ranganathananda. Here, there are few reminiscences of Swami Asimatmananda, a monk from Ramakrishna Yogashrama Koalpara, West Bengal. He was also secretary of Swami Ranganathananji Maharaj for some years. An embodiment of Godward passion and manward love. Swami Ranganathananda used to say that spiritual life is not separate from the day-to-day life. In every human being, these three forces are active. The strength of the body or physical strength, the strength of the intellect or intelligence, and the strength of the mind or soul, that is called Atma Shakti. Atma Shakti is our real asset. It is the strength of our character. If one's character is strong, he can resist the temptations of all, he can resist all temptations. So we find that both secular and sacred are interrelated in life as a whole. Now, few reminiscences. Swami Ranganathananda combined erudition with wit and humor. He often used to say jokingly about himself, there are usually two types of blood cells in a human body, viz. The RBC or the red blood cells and the WBC, the white blood corpuscles. I have one more type of blood cells in my body, and that is the VBC, the Vivekananda blood corpuscles. It is really true that he was the epitome of the teachings of Swamiji. Once a monk disciple of Swami Turiyananda expressed his apprehension that Maharaj's scholarship and oration could be the cause of his downfall. Hearing this, Swami Ranganathananda remarked that if downfall was inevitable, then also he would not feel sorry, because if the downfall was his destiny, the fall would bring him to the lotus feet of Sri Ramakrishna only. Such was his devotion and surrender to Sri Ramakrishna. I feel that his unerring devotion must have led him to God realization. We know that the exposition of Swamiji's ideas was his mission. His unflinching devotion to Thakur was exemplary, and he had intense devotion to Holy Mother too. It was his earnest prayer to Holy Mother that she should appear before him in her living form at least once a day. It is said that Holy Mother had blessed her devoted son. In this context, I mention one incident. Once, after Durga Puja, the deity image was brought on the bank of the Ganga. Maharaj was sitting on the veranda of Holy Mother's temple. He was surrounded by some monks and attendant monks or sevaks. Just at the time of immersion, Maharaj said in a loud voice that he had seen Holy Mother in her living form. He asked to stop the immersion. Even when the manager monk came to him, he asked why the living deity should be immersed. But rituals were to be performed. Thenceforth, Maharaj never went to see the immersion ceremony. Again, every year at the time of Kumari Puja, when a girl child is worshipped as Mother Durga, Maharaj realized the presence of Holy Mother in her. He used to observe the whole ceremony sitting on a chair and holding a cloth on his mouth tightly, fearing that the upsurge of emotions would make him cry aloud. His devotion to Holy Mother was exceptional. On one another occasion, a lady went to Maharaj with her newly wedded daughter-in-law. She said to Maharaj, "Maharaj, please bless my daughter-in-law." Maharaj very wittily asked her, "Who are you to her?" The lady replied, "I am her mother-in-law." Now Maharaj very softly forbade her to utter mother-in-law or daughter-in-law. He told her that instead of using those terms, she should say mother-in-love and daughter-in-love, because relationship is basically founded on love and not on legal grounds. Thus Maharaj used to mold worldliness into divinity. Swami Ranganathananda ji was an exemplary soul, and in his I think we'll end here.
Now a short period of meditation. Good morning, friends, and welcome to the Sunday service of the Vedanta Society of Toronto. And today's topic of discussion is true maturity. So, maturity, we know, it is a sign of growth. Every individual that is born has to grow. If we do not grow, we perish. So growth is the sign of maturity, and growth leads to maturity. It is said that all those are born, they exist, and they grow, and they attain maturity. There are other stages after maturity. They decline, and then there is death. But attaining maturity, the highest of growth, is the goal and the sign of growth. Jayate, asti, vardhate, viparinamate. Let's take this four things. The person, a baby is born, after that the baby exists. Why we don't say when in the womb the baby exists? Exist comes after the birth. Jayate, then there is the asti, because there is no existence by itself of the baby in the womb of the mother. It exists with mother's existence. Now it is the individual existence. Individuality has come. Independence has come. Then still it has to grow. Then vardhate, it grows for many years. And then viparinamate, it matures, he or she matures. The maturity can be of physical level, biological maturity, when you become grown up and you become strong and you can do your things by yourself, you don't have to take help of others. When you are a child, you are not mature. That time you crawl and take the help from your parents and siblings, elder siblings, and the society and your teachers. You all grow that way. And now one has become, after growth, when you become mature, can be dependent on either her own self to take care of his or her own self. So that is the sign of maturity. You have become mature. Now you can take care of yourself. Till you are not able to take care of yourself, still you are dependent on your parents, you are not yet mature. So conflict comes there. Often the teenagers think that they are mature. And they want to decide for themselves, they want to go against any suggestion of their parents or their elders, and because they feel they are mature without attaining maturity. When maturity attained, then their decision will be all right. So maturity comes with the mental maturity. Physical maturity is not the real maturity. Then comes the mental maturity. In the mental maturity, as it is said, the growth in the level of intellect. The intellectual maturity, or then when you are mature intellectually, that is also to be independent. Maturity brings you independence, your capacity to decide for yourself, to take care of yourself intellectually. Then you lead a moral life, you know what is right and what is wrong, what you should choose always the right thing to do. That is a sign of intellectual maturity or moral maturity or mental maturity, whatever name you give. Until then, only physical maturity and mental immaturity, if it is combined together, then there can be disaster for the person. That person may take very wrong decision because that person is immature, doesn't know what right thing to take. So maturity actually means having the right understanding of things, that it becomes intellectually mature. Now what is right understanding? That needs to be explained. There is third dimension of maturity of human personality, and that is spiritual maturity. It is to know the truth. That ultimate spiritual maturity is to know the real truth, reality. That what is the truth? I am the whole. I am not the part. I am the whole and one with the universe, one with the whole universe. That is the real maturity, that I am one with the reality. I am the reality. I am the unchanging, undiminishing truth that ever exists. My existence doesn't depend on the existence of this body. The physical growth and maturity and all that is separate from my own existence, and that is independent, free, that is always there. When we are able to understand that, when you are able to know that, then comes the spiritual maturity. And we need to get mature in all three levels, but physical maturity comes with food, mental maturity comes with thinking and training, but spiritual maturity has to come through our self-effort. Mainly through our self-effort, that we need spiritual maturity. The physical maturity and intellectual maturity are not true maturity until we are mature spiritually, and spiritual maturity is knowing who I am. That I am one with Brahman, realizing Tattvamasi, that is spiritual maturity. How to have that? The song that was sung was so beautiful. One is dependence on God. Dependence on God is real independence. So our Rabindranath sings one song, My freedom is getting attached to you. Bandhana amar, mukti amar, bandhana door. The cord of tying, attachment is real freedom, but to whom to get attached? If we are attached to the world, we get more attached, we are really bound. But that attachment, that bandhana door, the cord of attachment has to attach me to God. That's why he's praying the song that was sung in the first opening song, that Lord, will this day go away in vain, unutilized? Day means this life, human life. Will I get the real true maturity where I'm living? Only physical maturity and intellectual maturity are not enough. Those are not true maturity. I want spiritual maturity. I want to know the truth. I want to know the reality. I want to know, as the scriptures have said, what I have read and heard. I want to experience that. I want to realize that. Then only it will be spiritual maturity. What happens if we are spiritually immature? That then becomes what we find. They say, we often talk about the spiritual maturity, that we worship our deity, our Ishta, we do not steal the things, we control our greed, we try to be truthful in our approach and try to keep our words. So we are practicing maturity. But Swami Vivekananda said, those are all intellectual maturity, and most of us are not mature enough yet. We are just trying to do that. We are all babies as far as spirituality is concerned, very immature. People often think that I am mature and all others are very immature. So that itself is a sign of great immaturity when we say that. And when I say I am right and you are wrong, that is very immature statement that we say in our mind. Some people say, if I study a lot and have degree, then the maturity comes. Maturity doesn't come with all degrees. Sometimes pride comes, and this pride is a sign of immaturity. Sometimes we think, if I have a lot of money, then I'm secure and I'm mature. No, I'm independent, because maturity has to lead us to independence, freedom. Not depending on others is maturity. But that also is not the real thing. If you have a lot of money, you are not free from dependence. You are dependent. You think you are dependent on money, and money will give you everything, and time comes, money cannot give you everything. So what about your health? What about your peace of mind? What about your happiness? Money cannot give any of those, so money cannot give you maturity. Something, if I have social status, people respect me, I am honored by others, I have something in some standing in society, then it is maturity, because more than just getting freedom, I am even respected and acknowledged by others. That is also not a sign of maturity. People's honor, it is there today, tomorrow it goes. It is like a very, very flimsy. When you are able to give something to the society, society honors. After that, nothing is there. You just forget. People, big political leaders, they think when they become top leaders, they think they can do anything, or they can change the rules, can do. But how long? Till they are in the power. Power goes in few years. After that, they are common citizens. Whether this position can give you independence and maturity and honor, that is not there. So that's why Shankara said, Ma kuru dhana jana yovana garbam. Don't be proud of your wealth, your followers, and your youthfulness, strength of your body. Harati nimeshat kalaha sarvam. The kala, the time can take everything in a moment. You can become diseased in the moment, such thing happens, some big disease come to you, and people can desert you any moment, and money can be lost. It can be stolen, your money that you put in the stock can crash. So don't be proud of all these. These are very temporary. In a moment, nimesha. Nimesha is the time when we blink our eyes. In blinking of the eyes, within that time, all the three can go. Don't do garva. Don't be proud. So this pride is a sign of spiritual immaturity or true immaturity. Other sign of true immaturity is envy, jealousy. We often have, and we don't try to overcome jealousy. We are so much jealous of other person. Other person has some position in society or has a little more money or honored, or somehow I cannot stand other person. I don't like that person. So this envy is a sign of jealousy. Jealousy is, or envy is a sign of immaturity. When we have that, we become very immature person. However, other mature quality we have. The sign of maturity is treating all lovingly, as my own, as Holy Mother said, as was read in the reading in the morning. So beautiful. Whatever is said about the great truths of Vedanta, and so much practiced by great monks. Swami Ranganathananda ji, how beautiful we see Vivekananda blood corpuscle. So that to work for others, what is Vivekananda blood corpuscle? To work for others, to give joy to others, not to be selfish, be unselfish, love God and love fellow human beings, the children of God, serve them without any exception, love everyone. Don't have any jealousy towards anyone. When we have conflict with someone, there is some element in me, I have to find the solution in me that is lacking, and that's why there is fight, quarrel, friction, conflict. All this is a sign of something wrong. Either I am jealous or cannot stand other person as that person is. When we have Vivekananda blood corpuscle, then I can adjust with any person. I don't find defect with other person. I can find a way out to deal with varieties of people, because all are children of God. All are made like that by God. Varieties of people are there, and I know how to deal with the person. So I don't have that. Immature, another sign of immaturity is getting quickly offended. When we are so emotionally weak, emotionally immature, the little praise will make elated, and little something that goes against my wish, I am very much offended. Some words, some feeling, oh, that person really doesn't like me. How do you know? Did that person say no, the way that person looked at me or looks at me, I understand. And now you are convinced of your understanding. You so much immature you are, without even trying to hear from that, you all know, as they say, I am mature and all are immature. So that person is by looking, I understand that person doesn't like me. And other time, I was going, oh, that person makes fun of me. How do you know? Oh, when I was passing, he started laughing. How do you know he or she laughed upon you? You might be laughed upon something he remembered, something he read, like that. So that is a sign of being very touchy, always thinking about yourself. Only you exist as it were. People are there to laugh upon you because you are so important, and the people only laugh at you. You are the target, you are the goal of their all fun and joy. It doesn't happen that way. There are many things people think. Most of the people think about themselves. They don't have to think about other person. So all these are sign of spiritual immaturity. Quickly getting offended by some words, by some look, by some action. Just touch me not. Swami Vivekananda said, this touch me not people cannot do any great things. So be immune to all such things. Have self-confidence and let people laugh. What is there? Swami Bhaskarananda said, some people laugh upon me, and I feel very happy with that. As this something good I am doing to the people, some joy they are getting out of me by seeing me or doing something, they can make fun of me and become happy. That I am blessed, that I can make others happy. So think that way. If thinking that way is emotional maturity, so not getting quickly offended. The immature person often wants to make group, like I belong to this, this is I belong to Vedanta society. Oh, that person worships goes to some other organization. We think of Sarva Dharma Samanvaya, we respect all religions, we are very not dogmatic, we are not fanatic, we are not into any other thing that separates. That itself is fanaticism sometimes. We have to be very careful when we start taking pride and separate ourselves as the group. Vedanta society will not be satisfied by thinking we belong to Vedanta society. Vedanta society would like us to grow further and include whole humanity, whole universe as our own, not a small group. Dividing ourselves into small group, small community, small linguistic community or ethnic community, that is not Vedanta at all. So that is not immaturity at all. If that is not maturity at all, that is a sign of immaturity, trying to put ourselves in a small group. Sometimes groups are there who's even in the people who are very devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, initiated devotees of Ramakrishna mission. Oh, you are the disciple of that Guru, and immediately you feel one, oh, I am also a disciple of that Guru. As if then others are as if separate, others. So you all become good because your Guru is good, because I am disciple of Ranganathananji, I have read that, and others Guru may be different, so I don't know a story. Ranganathananji was such a great speaker. To become a disciple of Ranganathananji, we are blessed to have that. As if others are not blessed, as if Ranganathananji will be very happy if you say, I am so blessed to be your disciple, I didn't take initiation from other teacher. That is the worst thing that Ranganathananji would ever like. Ranganathananji will be very displeased with that, because we all belong to Sri Ramakrishna, who is not even individual, who is whole. If we consider Sri Ramakrishna as individual deity, then also we are not spiritually mature. He has to be considered Sarva Deva Devi Swarupa, he has to be considered Vishwarupa, then only we are mature. Sri Ramakrishna is not only one individual deity, one avatara. He is Sarva Deva Devi Swarupa, Sarva Avatara Swarupa, Sarva Vishwa Swarupa, then only we are mature spiritually. So we have to go a lot on the path of spirituality to become mature. So what is true maturity? As I said, it is right understanding. That what is right understanding? To know about the world as it is and to know about who I am. When you understand the world, they say, when we are mature, we say, some say world is, oh, it is very bad, it's going to hell, and what happened is Kali Yuga, and it's going to destroy. People have become so corrupt and so depending on the very worldly minded, and physical body enjoyment is all in all for them. If we talk that way, we don't know the world at all. There's my vision being I'm projecting, and reflection coming to me, my own reflections I'm seeing through different people in the world. The world is very neutral. It is neither good nor bad. It is not that excellent, it's not that, it's just a neutral. Now how you see depends on yourself. If you are good and pure, you see the world good and pure. World is just an echo of yourself. One small child went with a grandfather to a valley, and he shouted, ha, then became a ha. I hate you, and said, I hate you. He started crying to his grandfather. Father, that person says, I hate you. Who is that? I don't love you. And said, I don't love you. Then don't worry, why you were saying that? Now you say, I love you? He said, I love you. And someone can, I love you. So, echo is neutral. What you project outside, that comes to you. Like that exactly in the world. If you are good, friendly, you feel everyone as good, you will find that it's all good and blessedness. And if you are yourself unhappy and jealous and full of envy and full of idea of separation, I and me, that is separate, I am separate. If you always live with this immaturity, world will look like that. It will look very bad. I met a person here in Toronto and said, Swami, this world is really going to hell. What is happening to this world? I feel it will not last long. There will be like pralaya will come soon. they often say about the doomsday coming. So all this is a sign of immaturity and trying to think that way. So those people who think the doomsday will come soon and world will be destroyed soon, for them the problem is maybe it will destroy soon, but it will come again and will be destroyable again, the doomsday you have to search, because it will be always bad. Even the new creation will be bad for that person. So world is neutral, we see what we are. That, to understand the nature of the world, is maturity. Right understanding is the maturity. World is, as it is said, it is anitya, that is fine. It's ever changing. Nothing is permanent in the world. We have to understand that nature of the world, anitya. And it is, that's why when it's anitya means it is asatya. What is not permanent is not satya or the truth. The truth is that which never changes. It is asatya. Also Sri Krishna said it is asukha. It doesn't give you happiness. World doesn't give us happiness. We find so many nice friends. The world has given us to, I can worship God, I can meditate because I'm in the world. What is meant by asukha? It is asukha only when we are separated from right understanding. What I should do and what I should not do. Where there is joy and where there is no joy. This discernment, this is the sign of spiritual maturity or true maturity. When I know and this world is impermanent, unreal, everything changing, and I find something unchanging, then there is no asukha, there is all joy. Then joy in everything. Joy in growing old, growing weaker, and growing sick. Joy in even in deathbed, you are there, you will be full of joy. Because that is the parinati, apakshiyate viparinamate, that will happen. You have the right understanding how this world changes. That I am lying on the bed and I will die. That is not the real happiness. Real happiness is this body will die, but I am immortal. You see that immortality, that blissful self, that idea has come. I have understood the world, but I have not understood myself. That is also not a sign of real maturity. So right understanding about the world and right understanding about my own true nature. One Swami said, if you can practice two things, you are practicing maturity. What are two things? One thing is to forget, one thing is to remember. So he said, what to forget? He said, two things you have to forget. And what to remember? You have to remember two things. Then that is the practice of true maturity. What to remember? Remember, this world is ever changing. Nothing in the world will last forever. It's all temporary arrangement. We are in a temporary traveling. We are in the journey of this world. So nothing is yours. You cannot hold on to anything. You are flying in a plane, nice seat. You got the executive class. But temporary. You go from here to India, 14 hours flight, and after that, whatever cozy and nice it was, you cannot take that seat with you. You have to leave that. And that you have to be happy to give up that seat, because that you don't need. Like that, this world is there good for some time, but not for always. When you are old, and your senses have gone old, you cannot work, you are not independent, still you want to cling on to this life, depending on medicines and depending on people, and then you wanted to live for 100 years, oh I am 99, if I live one more year I will be 100. That type of thing is immaturity. Whenever death comes, doesn't matter at all for this existence, whether you live 100 or 19. When you go, nothing of here remains, that you live for 100 years, people remain, what people know or not, you are not concerned with that at all. When we are gone, this worldly existence is big zero for us. We have no concern for this world at all. When we have concern for this world, we become ghost, and who wants to become ghost? If after death also we have concern how the world goes on, how my family are doing, then we have become ghost. And that is very terrible existence. You don't have body, you don't have senses or sense organs, this external organs to enjoy or experience, but you have all the memories, and yet you can perceive through that, and you can do nothing. So that we don't want to be that state of ghost, as they call. So we have to have enough life, good life. Lord, Take me, I will go with you. And God will be there. What is there? So this life is worth 99 years it lived, 80 years it lived. So time to go. Happy, happy, always. In deathbed also happy. That is a sign of maturity. And one thing to remember, as I said, that Swami said, remember this world is unreal. And practice that. Always. Don't get caught in anything, good or bad, of this world. Everything is temporary for the time being. Another thing to remember is that there is one reality though. Not that everything is unreal. Everything is impermanent. Don't remember, this one thing is permanent even in this impermanence. And that is yourself, or the self is God. So God is reality. When whole world is destroyed, that God remains. What remains after destruction of the whole universe, that is God. And who is that God? But what is that to me? God will be there, but I am gone. No, you are not gone. You are that God. You are that existence. You do not die with the death of your body. You always exist. You do not go. Remember that you, the real I, is indestructible. That is reality. That is truth. That is unchangeable. That is immortal. When you pray, lead us from death to immortality, doesn't mean that God will make our body, mind, this existence, human existence as immortal. No, not that. We don't want that. We want that prayer is, may I understand that I am immortal. That is conquering death and attaining immortality. Still knowing fully, being convinced, and through knowledge, wisdom, that I am immortal. That experience is called leading from death to immortality. So, know the world and know yourself. That is right understanding, that is true independence, that is true maturity. Now, how to, the journey of maturity is from we become a good person, like very moral, truthful, empathetic for others. We try to serve others. Karma yoga. We see the whole world is created by God and God's children. All the whole world is my own self that appears as others. There is no other. It is all myself alone. None else exists. It is only I appearing as many. So you love all, serve all. That's what Ranganathanji says. He had love of God and passion for fellow human beings, passion of service. So this is the beginning of the maturity. Maturity, the journey of maturity begins here. Before that, we are not started the journey. When we have empathetic feeling, empathy for others, when we feel for others' pain as our own pain, others' joy as our own joy, and that as said in your Raja Yoga, Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshanam, Sukha, Dukha, Punya, Apunya Vishayanam. In Sukha of others, there should be Maitri, liking, that friendly attitude. If that person is happy, you are also happy. You don't remember yourself, you are totally thinking about others. That is real empathy. When you think about others, not about yourself. When in the suffering of others, you suffer, you have pain. In joy of others, you have your own joy. And in Sukha there is Maitri, in Dukkha there is Karuna. The word is compassion, but in Sri Ramakrishna language, if you have feeling for others' suffering, then you stretch your hand, stretch your mind, stretch your capacity, powers to help that person. So in Sukha, my feeling of Maitri for others. In Dukkha, feeling of Karuna or compassion. That is a sign of spiritual maturity. There it begins. There is one beautiful verse. It can be taken as the growth of true maturity. Attaining the path of attaining maturity. It's 5th chapter, 26th verse. It says, Labhante Brahma Nirvanam Rishayak Sheena Kalmasha Chinnadvaidha Yatatmana Sarva Bhuta Hiterataha. Beautiful. The people, those who have empathy and live for others, karma yogi, they live for the good of others. Sarva bhuta hite rata. They are always engaged in doing good to others. Why? That is become their nature. Because in the background they feel all as his or her own. And that's why always that is the nature. And when person become like that, it becomes the real, it is conquered his selfishness, become karma yogi. Sarva bhuta hite rata is the first step of getting total spiritual maturity. This is the life of values and morality, feeling of empathy, feeling others' pain, and joy in others' joy. So, and that you can illustrate the feeling of ahimsa, not troubling others, not being troubled by others. That as in the 12th chapter, Sri Krishna says that not dvesta sarva bhutanam. And so you don't are not disturbed by others, you don't disturb others. So like those all comes from this sarva bhuta hite rata, great quality. Then what is the next in this thing? The verse says, Labhante Brahma Nirvanam. Brahma Nirvana is the total, complete maturity. Brahma Nirvanam. Being, finding joy in Brahman. So for that is the beginnings from Sarva Bhute Hite Rata. Swami Vivekananda said, no, Atmana Mokshartham Jagat Hitaya. If Atmana Mokshartham is the ultimate of maturity, so it has to be combined and go with Jagat Hitaya. Without that, you will not be Atmana Mokshartham. Only trying to do just your own Atmana Mokshartham through negating the world and being aloof from the world is not the ideal of Ramakrishna mission. You may attain that, but that is not the real, complete, total, balanced personality that Swami Vivekananda dreamed of. So, Jagat Hitaya should be there. With Jagat Hitaya doing that, you will attain your own maturity. The second word said is, Labhante Brahma Rishaya Kshina Kalmashaha, whose kalmasha or weaknesses or ignorance has become kshina, has become weakened and removable. When there is, you have dirt in your plate. Now sometimes so sticky, then what we do? We soak with water. And when it is soaked, then you can easily remove that. It has become kshina. The attachment of dirt to the plate has become weakened. And then you can easily remove. So here, kalmasha, all weaknesses, ignorance, selfishness, all have become weakened and easily removable. The person has to be kshina kalmasha. Kalmasha is ready to go. How will they go? Sarva bhuta hite rata. That is the best way to remove our weaknesses, our selfishness. That is the best way. When you don't think about yourself, you start thinking about others. You will be free from all your weakness, sin, whatever you call, impurity, whatever you call will go. That's why this Satyakama was asked to take the cattle to the forest and said, take care of these. 400, take them 1,000. And he was all taking care, totally forgetting himself. And one day they became 1,000. His mind was pure because of doing the karma yoga as taught by his guru, thinking of nothing. When I will return, when I will have Brahma Jnana, when will Guru teach me? He didn't think anything of that. Only went on serving the cattle, doing good to others. What is the benefit by serving cattle? That is the karma yoga you are doing. Nothing thinking about yourself. You totally forgot about yourself. And forgetting yourself, you have cleaned your mind. All your kalmasa has been removed. Kalmasa, free from all kalmasa. So, chinna dvaida, that is the kshina kalmasa. The third quality of making spiritual maturity to practice is yatatmana, self-effort and self-control. Not accepting everything that our mind says. Always discerning, is it right thing to do this or not right? So that way we can remove all our desires, all our selfish desires, our worldly desires. When we can control that worldly desires by controlling self-effort by controlling self-control through self-effort, or that is always there. That self-effort, there is a self-effort or God's grace. God's grace, it has made you given you to Mahapurusha Samsraya, given you the human body, given you the will to mature yourself, mature spiritually. That is the gift of God. Now, attaining that maturity, there is self-effort is needed for that. God will give me self-effort. That will not happen. There is the free will to attain God. You have now to practice that, whatever is given. So self-effort, yatat mana, the person has to, having this great self-effort, striving to attain true knowledge. Then practice sadhana chatushtaya, that's viveka vairagya, samadhi, satka sampatti, samadama, uparati, titiksha, shraddha, samadhana. We spoke titiksha last time. And then mumukshutta. I want to attain this maturity. Mumukshutta, the word is attaining freedom, but maturity is also attaining freedom. When we have not attained freedom, then we are not mature. Another quality it is said is chinna dvaidha. When stage of gaining conviction, all doubts dispelled. Dvaidha is all doubts. The chinna is broken away, it is gone. So what are the doubts we have often? First is, am I immortal? They say, oh, this is said in the scriptures, I am immortal, but I think I die, I have disease. So when we have disease and pain, trying to focus on my Atman nature. I feel I am not able to really separate from the body, but I am not really the body. So this whether I am body or I am Atma, that doubt will not be there. I am Atma, maybe I have not realized, maybe I feel pain, but I know that I am, as Atma there is no pain, but I am not able to realize Atma yet, that's why there is the pain. But I know this pain is not pain in me, but in this body which I am not. So like that, doubt goes away that whether I am body or Atma. Then the idea of doubt also goes, am I Chidananda Rupa Shiva? Shankaracharya wrote, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Where is that Chidananda Rupa? I am so suffering so much from the existence now, but you say Chidananda Rupa, that doubt goes. Yes, I am that Ananda Swarupa. My real nature is that. So that is all Chinna Dvaita. There is no doubt that I am not Atma, I am this body. The doubt goes. Am I divine by true nature? That doubt also goes. Then the knowledge comes, I am the reality and world is not. World is not real. It's ever changing. I am the reality, unchanging reality. So, Chinna Dvaita, when it is done, then the person becomes like Rishi. All those have these three qualities, four qualities, they are like Rishaya. Then what happens to the Rishaya? They get into the knowledge of Brahman, Labhante Brahma Nirvanam. The Brahma Nirvanam is true maturity. They merge themselves in the bliss of Brahman. Merging in the bliss of Brahman doesn't mean that we have to be bereft of this body, we have to die only, then we'll become Brahman. Merging in Brahman is having full conviction that I am that Chidananda Rupa Shiva, and that worldly existence is just the experience that I am gaining for the time being. I have no doubt that all Dvaita doubts have been gone, and I am that Shiva, always in bliss. Whatever the situation of surrounding is there, whatever the thing that world brings to me, all those are just temporary and those are not the real thing, changing world bringing. I am that Chidananda Rupa Shiva. That is attaining Labhante Brahma Nirvanam. That is true maturity. So that's how we can attain the true maturity when we truly realize God. So for that we need striving. For striving we have to begin to take the help of the being that is always with us, and we call God or our Ishta or great teachers. They are always there to help us in that path. The one who have crossed beyond ignorance, they have become mature, truly mature, spiritually mature. They are always happy when we try to move in that path, and they always say, Swasti vai tamaswasti vai paraya tamasa parastat. You are traveling to go beyond ignorance. May that be auspicious to you. May there be help to you. And they push us in our path. All the blessing, grace comes when we try. So prayer helps a lot. And that striving, the song was sung, will the day go like this in vain? That is the pathos that we have. I have not attained, I feel I have not sufficiently progressed. And not to make you like depressed, I have not progressed at all, but to energize you to strive for attaining liberation. So when we say to God, will they be like that? God says, no, you will attain, I am there. That you can listen from God when we talk with God in quietness. God speaks, starts speaking. In our heart He speaks. I can achieve that. It will be there. But I see no sign of really any progress. Still there is attachment, there is ignorance. I don't feel that world is unreal. I don't have any inclination of the Atman. There is no maturity has come. What will happen, my Lord? Then you think, I am there, why do you worry? I will be there, I will come. Yeah, God will come to me. You will have no doubt about that. As Swami Ranganathan, this story was told, he wanted to see mother and mother came. And she showed. And Thakur and Ma and all, they have said, who strives to attain that, there will be help. Final help will come. So no doubt, Chinna Dvaidha, because we strived, we were Yeta Chetasam, that was always there. So we were always striving, so help will finally come and we will attain. How much power we have. If you see from the greater thing we say striving, but when we try to strive, some power comes. You see, when Swami Vivekananda was giving lectures in the West, sometimes his all ideas finished. Then what happened? There were 3 lectures a day and all were new and he didn't even take the notes. One idea done, next idea what to speak in the same repetition will not do. Then he says, someone is coming and is speaking to me, speak this. These are the points. So all these points come by the grace of God. Thakur used to come and tell. For us also there will be a push. Don't worry, it will come. So no worrying, but striving to become mature and by attaining divine realization that I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the whole, I am the real existence that is there in seemingly in this unreal and ever-changing anitya, asatya, asukha loka. There is God, there is the self which is always present. So more stress on the self nature, my Atman nature, and enjoy the changing world. Live it nicely and happily and accept the things. Surrender yourself to God. God will take care. This body and all this happening to the body, it all belongs to God, not to me. I am the one with the reflection, my soul is the reflection of God. So like that you surrender yourself, body, mind, soul to God, and God comes to you. The blessing of God comes to your heart and we become mature and truly mature physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That is the true maturity to be attained by our self-effort and by the grace of God. Thank you very much. Now the closing chants. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Mahamai Ki Jai. Jai Swami Ji Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Buddha Ki Jai. Jai Isha जय सर्वस्तरतु दुर्गाणि सर्वो भद्राणि पश्यतु सर्वसद्बुद्धिमाप्नोतु सर्वत्र नन्दतु Hari Om Tat Sat. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all.